Stacy, all I'm asking is for another chance. Don't give up on us. Don't give up on me.
Another chance is no small order, Gil.
I know it's a lot to ask, but knowing what Amber did to us, the way she used us against each other, it's no wonder you don't want me to touch you anymore. I love you, Stacy. Doesn't that count? I love you.
Don't keep saying that, please.
It's the truth, and I'll keep saying it until you believe me.
Everybody out! Have you lost Miriam? Come on, take your hand off of the doorknob. Miriam, we have to catch the mouse in our own trap here. One good squeal is all we need. Your con game is up.
Come on.
Babs?
Well, what's going on here, ladies?
You want to know what happened? I'll tell you what happened. There was a fire in the hotel kitchen.
Let's go.
No,
Hurry.
let's go. Nothing.
There's a fire.
No, there is no fire, Nancy. Come on back in. It's all right.
Well, I thought there was a fire, Nancy. The one I told you about down in the kitchen. I thought it was spreading all the way up here.
Oh, I see. I see. Is that why you were holding the door, to protect Nancy from the flames?
Well, let me explain everything.
No, you don't need to explain anything to me, Mrs. Mason. I saw everything. You see, Nancy, your two friends here were trying to play a little practical joke on you.
What?
Oh, no, not really a joke. What was it you called it, Miss Farley? A mousetrap? You just wanted to hear one good squeal, right? Well, you heard Nancy's. It wasn't very loud, now was it?
Loud? You mean you thought
Yeah,
that...
evidently, Nancy, they think that your voice is back to full volume.
Now, wait a minute. That isn't exactly true. I really came here to visit you, Nancy.
Well, good. Why don't you just continue your visit while I call the police?
The cops? Oh, come off it.
That's right. You heard me, Miss Farley. The police. It's against the law to yell fire in a public facility, didn't you know?
Nancy, I am really sorry about this. Honestly, I mean, is your throat, is it strained?
Don't you worry, Mrs. Mason. I'll have her throat examined. It's a good thing I came back when I did. There's no telling how far you two would have gone. Nancy's life was clearly in danger here.
Look, no matter what you
Yes,
think
operator?
we did...
Yeah, right. I'm trying to reach the Kingsley police. Could you get me an outside line, please?
Stacy, can't you forget the past? Forgive my mistakes. I'm sorry. I apologize. Can't you accept that?
I can't, Gil.
I know you want us back together the way we were. Deep down in your heart, I know it.
You lied to me.
I had to.
You said you never loved me, Gil. Never. If you only knew what that never did to me.
I did that because of Amber. You know that.
Well, how do I know what you're doing now isn't because of her? How do I know you're not trying to get back at her through me again?
After what she did to me, she aborted my child. She broke us up. I never want to get close to her again.
Why did you let her do it to us? Couldn't you have stopped her?
No, I couldn't. Not without hurting you.
You did hurt me. Can't you see that?
I can now. But I didn't then. I did what I thought was right for everyone concerned, the child and you.
I lost you to her.
And that's what hurt the most. Knowing that that's what you thought. Knowing that you thought that every kiss and every caress was a lie. That's what you thought, isn't it?
Yes.
Stacy, if you come back to me, you'll see that all that was real.
I'm not sure I want it to be real again, Gil.
Why? Because it's easier to think of it as a dream? Like it had no reality at all?
Yes.
It's not a dream, Stacy, and you know it.
Maybe.
Stacy.
Look at me, all wrapped up in my selfish concerns when my mother's been murdered and my father arrested for it.
Does that mean you need some time?
Yeah, I guess that's what it means.
Okay, fine, I'll wait.
Well, I can't guarantee that it'll do you any good.
It will. I know it will. We'll be back together again, Stacy. Like we were before. Bye.
Goodbye.
Yes, operator, I'm trying to reach the Kingsley Police. Can you make that call for me, please? What department? 1 second, please. Yes?
I'm the manager, Mr. Kirshner.
Operator, thank you. I'll make that call later. What can we do for you, Mr. Kirshner?
Well, I'm looking for a Miss Nancy Lawson. She's registered for this room.
Yes, I'm aware of that. What would you like with her?
Miss Lawson, were you the one yelling there was a fire a few moments ago? The warning came from this corridor.
No, she certainly was not. She can barely speak above a whisper. Nancy is recuperating from surgery, as you may know.
Yes, seems I do remember hearing that, but someone did yell there was a fire.
Yes, Mr. Kirshner, you are absolutely right. And those two people right there are responsible for that false alarm.
Oh, that was no false alarm. I'd say it was quick thinking on your part.
What did you say?
Well, simply that we need more concerned people like you around.
Who, us?
Yes, your warning helped us evacuate guests from the adjoining hall. The flames from the fire in the kitchen apparently hadn't been extinguished, and the smoke was beginning to seep into the ventilation system. If one guest hadn't heard your warning, he might still be asleep in his room.
No kidding. You mean we saved a bunch of lives? How about that?
That's incredible.
Unreal.
Well, may I?
Absolutely. Put her there.
Oh, thank you, Miss,
Farley, Barbara Farley.
and,
Miriam Mason.
oh, Mrs. Mason. I'd like to show my appreciation. The two of you are invited to dine in the Corinthian room this evening. Guests of the house, of course.
You have got yourself one solid deal. That is, if we're free then. We will be free then, won't we, Mr. Myers?
Do something.
I just can't remember what happened that night. And I've tried, but I keep drawing a blank.
Okay, well, before you start passing sentence on yourself, let me ask you a couple of questions. Maybe we'll stumble onto something.
Yeah, maybe.
The afternoon leading up to Kate's murder, you left the clinic at closing time?
Closing time, yeah, a little after 5. Now, that I remember.
And you were, what, just on the verge of blacking out from that medication, Dave Phelps?
No. No, I was having a sneezing fit, and it made me feel a little lightheaded. But that was from my allergy, and from the hay fever. Well, I thought. It wasn't until much later that, I don't remember when, that things started to go out of focus.
Dave, what I want to establish is where you were and what you did from the time you left the clinic until the time that Kate was murdered, and that's been estimated to be between 2 and 3 in the morning. That leaves 9 to 10 hours that are unaccounted for.
Yes. I wish I could account for them, Harold, but with the reaction to the medication, I just don't remember.
Let's set aside the hours, say, from 5 o'clock till 9 o'clock, the early part of the evening. What do you usually do then?
Well, if I'm not working late, I go home.
No special hangouts?
No.
How about calls to make or appointments?
Well, I thought about that, and I checked my calendar, but there was nothing.
Think maybe you went home like you usually did?
Well, possibly for dinner, but
What is it?
dinner, I kept thinking that I didn't want to eat alone.
You think maybe you went out to a restaurant somewhere or stopped on the way home?
I don't know. Since Kate broke off with me, I haven't wanted to go out. The usual places kept reminding me of being with her.
What were the usual places? Where did you normally take her?
Well, the Greenbrier, the King's Arms, places that she enjoyed.
Okay. All right, I'll get somebody to check out those possibilities. Maybe if you were there, somebody saw you.
But what will that prove? I mean, sure, I was there in the early part of the evening, but somehow I ended up in the parking lot at Amber's.
I don't know, Dave. Maybe we'll get something from one of these leads.
Well, they don't sound like very good leads to me.
They're all we've got to go on until you get some more of your memory back. Look, Dave, are you absolutely sure that you didn't know that Kate was back from her honeymoon and in Kingsley? It could be very damaging if you did.
No, Harold. I had no idea she was back.
I didn't say I wouldn't. I just said I'd get around to it. That's all.
I know, but Harold has to know that.
Harold has to know what?
Harold, you're here still.
Of course, I'm here. Had an appointment this afternoon with Dave Phillips.
Ay, I forgot.
Did you also forget that lunch hour is supposed to be an hour, not 3 or 4?
Oh, yeah, sure. You're right. You must be starving. Why don't you go sink your teeth into one of Leon's hamburgers? I'm here now.
Yeah, with something else to say, Barbara?
It can wait, Miriam. Look at you. You're faint from hunger, I'm sure. Go on, eat.
What have you done?
Me? I haven't done anything. I'm just late, that's all. I'm sorry, Harold.
You have a lot to be sorry for.
Come on, Babs, out with it. I want to know what's going on.
It was just a tiny misunderstanding. It's all been taken care of, just like that.
Whom do I have to see on her behalf?
Oh, why don't you make that our behalf? Because we just came back from seeing Nancy.
Oh, no. You didn't tell me. You didn't give her another black eye.
No, I didn't touch her, Harold. Ask Miriam.
No, but it certainly was your bright idea that made up for it. We almost got arrested.
She said almost, Harold.
Almost arrested for what?
For yelling fire at the King's Arms Hotel, hoping that Nancy would come screaming out of her hotel room, proving that she had a voice, so only it just didn't work out that way.
And Dan Myers just happened to be there, saw the whole episode, and he was about ready to call the police.
But fortunately, Mr. Kirshner, the manager, was there, thanking us, because there really was a fire.
Just wait a second. You two cooked up some kind of a harebrained scheme to find out if Nancy could still talk?
And she couldn't.
Miriam had nothing to do with it, Harold. She
Yeah,
wanted no part of it.
But see, that's not the way it ended up.
No, actually, it ended up pretty good. We got a free dinner. We kind of came out on top of it, don't you think?
Well, I certainly don't know all the facts here, but Miriam, there's no way in the world you could have come out a winner.
What do you mean by
You
that?
said Dan Myers was there?
True, he was.
Dan Myers, your father's attorney? Charles is going to love hearing about your almost arrest, almost as much as he's going to love telling Judge Sawyer about it when the reevaluation of Varick's custody hearing comes up.
There you go.
Thank you. Are you sure you don't want to join Peter and me for dinner tonight?
Oh, I don't think I better, Terry. That wouldn't be much of a conversation. Not after the talk I had with Harold about the trial.
Well, you can leave all the talking to Peter. He's full of it these days, all about his engagement to Vicky.
You've got enough to worry about without me being around.
Didn't you and Harold get anywhere today?
No, nothing. I don't know, we're still looking for a breakthrough, if it ever comes. You know, I'm beginning to think that maybe I did kill Kate.
Dave,
Maybe I picked up that gun and shot her without even knowing it.
I don't
Now,
want to
maybe-
hear you talk like this.
Well, don't get me wrong, Terry. I'm not wallowing in self-pity. I'm just trying to fit the pieces together. You know, it's possible. I could have done it. The condition I was in.
Well, that's what you once thought was causing your loss of memory. Your subconscious. But it was the wrong medication you take.
Yes, I was off track there. But so what? I can't prove it.
But listen, don't let that stop your hope. Don't let it stop your belief in that you didn't do it.
But if it's a false hope,
There is nothing false about our hope. Not if it increases our faith in God. Like now, with you. He's your deliverer.
yes, he is. He's delivered me from the bottle. He's delivered me from the guilt in Kevin's accident. I could go on.
There is nothing wrong about reminding ourselves what God's done for us.
No, there isn't. Excuse me, huh?
Now, wait a minute, Harold. You're trying to get me stirred up over nothing.
Over nothing? Dan Myers caught the two of you red-handed, and you don't think he's gonna run straight to Charles?
Well, let him.
You don't get the point, Miriam. Your old man can use this against you in court.
But he's no longer trying to take Eric away from me, nor trying to prove me an incompetent mother.
Since when?
Since we talked and he apologized.
Charles apologized?
Yes, he really did. He apologized and we made an agreement, on my terms, of course, that he can come to visit Eric.
No, Miriam.
Harold, but Harold, he was like a different person. He really was. In fact, he was even grateful that I'm going to allow this.
It's very accommodating of you, Miriam. But I wonder if you could accord me the same courtesy and fill me in on your makeshift arrangements. After all, I'm your lawyer.
Okay, well, it was really very simple. He can come to visit Eric over at Iones as long as he checks with me first, maybe about once a week.
When was this arrangement made?
I guess last week.
Miriam, I want you to be very careful. I understand that you want to patch up things between you and your father.
I know, Harold, I'm not going to have my guard down with him. And if he's not being sincere with me, I think I'll find that out soon enough, but I really believe he is. Well, do you think he's pretending too?
I just don't know. It's hard to tell with Charles, but watch your step.
Look, Miriam, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to give you any big headaches with all this. I just wanted to help out Ben Martin so that he wouldn't have this dumb malpractice suit. I owed him one. He's the one that patched me up after Lance beat me up.
I know. I realize you probably meant well, and I don't hold you responsible for anything.
I do. Look, Babs, let this be a lesson to you. Next time, just look ahead before you jump into something like this.
Well, I did, Harold. It's just that Myers snuck up from behind.
You're just lucky there really was a fire, so Myers can't prove anything.
And Babs' warning, though, you have to remember, that really did come in handy. It saved all of those guests.
Anyway, Babs, you gotta promise me that you'll never pull any more stunts like this ever again. I gotta have your word.
Hi, Dad. I had to see you.
Well, what is it, honey? Come on in.
Thanks. It was all I could do to keep... Mrs. Davidson, I didn't know you were here.
Well, hi, Stacy. I just dropped by to invite your father to join Peter and me for dinner.
That's all right. I'll come back later.
No, stay. I told Terry I'd take a rain check.
I'm going to let him off the hook just this once. Stacy, it's good to see you out again, especially after you left my place so early after the funeral.
I hope you've forgiven me for that.
Oh, of course.
I just didn't feel like being around people.
Well, look, I'm glad you came here, honey. Are you feeling all right now?
Yeah, a little better. Dad, I need to talk to you.
Well, sure, whatever you want.
Well, I think I'm going to go. This should be strictly a father-daughter talk.
Thanks, Terry. I'll see you tomorrow after work.
I may not be home right after work. I'm teaching an anatomy class.
No, I mean after my work, when I'm finished at the clinic.
What?
I'm going back to the clinic tomorrow.
What? Dave, that's great.
Do you really think you should? I mean, with all the publicity accusing you of murdering Mom, don't you think you'd just be exposing yourself to...
Oh, yes, I know, to finger pointing. No, I've thought it over, Stacy, and I just can't stay cooped up in this apartment. Not when I can be practicing medicine.
And especially when you're needed at the clinic and missed by 3 people there we know.
Well, thanks for the encouragement, Terry.
You're very welcome. I'll see you tomorrow. And Stacy, please remember, you can come visit me anytime you want.
Thanks, Mrs. Davidson.
Bye-bye.
She's right, you know. We gotta make every effort to get our minds off things, in spite of everything that's happened.
But I miss Mom so.
I know, honey. So do I. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you've got to get your mind off your mother and my trial that's coming up.
I tried to, but every time I do, all I can think of is Gil.
Gil. What about him?
He came to see me today. He still loves me, Daddy.
Is that what he said?
Mm-hmm. Over and over.
Well, not enough times to make you believe him, I hope.
That's just the problem. I'm beginning to. I don't know what to do. He wants us to get back together.
I see.
I see. Is that all? You've been dead set against this relationship from the beginning.
Well, what do you want me to say? No? To make the decision for you? That's not like you.
I know. I've never had a hard time making decisions before. And it has to be a time when Amber's finally out of his life.
You wouldn't have to ask for my advice if the life of my grandchild depended upon your decision. Do it on your own. The way you used to.
Things were just back to normal.
But they're not. Stacy. Look, you've got to be careful. Ask yourself if your feelings for Gil are as strong as they were at the beginning. And then make your decision.